time for the Gettin Outdoors podcast, Town Country United Bank Lake Millers Ferry Weekend Hunting and Fishing Report. A weekly update on water conditions, ramp events, generating schedule, what's biting, and seasonal hunting information with outdoor reporters Joe Allen Dunn, Kevin Sims, and Shane Jones. This weekly hunting and fishing report is brought to you by the good folks at Town Country United Bank in Camden, Alabama, serving their customers for over 40 years. Town Country United Bank's highest priority is satisfied customers. Now, here's your weekend Lake Millers Ferry hunting and fishing report.
All right, Big Daddy, here we go.
There he is. Team Bigfoot, baby. Another one on the B&B Silver Shad. Team Bigfoot in the house.
Shane Jones crappie fishing.
Got it.
First one, 2023, smackdown.
Afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Gettin Outdoors podcast 226 Town Country United Bank Hunting and Fishing Report with my outdoor reporters, Mr. Kevin Sims, in the studio, man.
Back.
Glad to have you back. And Shane Jones up there in North Alabama. How you doing, Shane?
I'm doing good, guys. How y'all doing?
Just
Good.
got through with the podcast with Team Tucky Man, Eddie Salter and Mark Brunner. We had a great conversation. We talked about some stuff about cameras and we talked about some pretty serious stuff trying to get baiting doves legalized. We went over that and bumped that a little bit, but anyhow, it was a good podcast. Appreciate them boys coming on there, and they will be at the World Deer Expo next weekend, which will be the 21st through the 23rd. And if you want a pair of tickets to that World Deer Expo, just type in WDE40 in the comments, and I'll give 2 tickets away. The guy that won it last week was on the YouTube channel. His name was Tim Maddox, and I hadn't been able to get up with Tim. So if anybody knows Tim, tell him to send me his address, and I'll get these tickets in the mail to him, because heck, that's $50 worth of tickets. And so WDE, and Jared Hudson wanted the live show the other day. He got his tickets. All right, Jared, good deal. And you go by and check out the old Turkey Man and Mark Brunner up there. They'll be at the World Deer Expo. Only thing I got going on this weekend, Dippy Outdoors has got another tournament this weekend at Hubbart's Landing. This weekend is the Roy Martin Youth Anglers Tournament down at the Alabama Deep Sea Fishing Rodeo. Kicks it off this Saturday with that youth rodeo.
Dolphin Island.
Yeah. And then they got something over there in Demopolis, Alabama, Kevin, called Rumble on the River.
Rumble on the River.
It's boat races, Saturday at 11 o'clock, Sunday at 12 o'clock. I've never gotten into boat races, but it's a lot of people get into those boat races.
Well,
That's where Big Daddy. Remember you be telling you that story how I found those fish in the hot summer.
Yeah.
That was 4 years ago, at that boat race. That's the one me and Shane went to.
Okay. And
That
you
was about 4
right.
years.
And y'all were drinking beer, and you had to get off the river to pee, and you found those fish when you.
We were drinking beer, and I said, and we were looked at each other and said, man, we really don't need to go anywhere right now. So we just dropped the trolling motor and went in the slough and found all them fish. I was like, that was
That's
fun.
a pretty good story. And Kevin, do not leave here without your package that Scott D sent you from Coastal Alabama.
I will.
Community college, because it's got some cool stuff in there.
Yeah, we used some of them huggers this weekend when we was in Mississippi.
Yeah, and them pins, them some of the best writing pins I ever had. Denise is on here.
Yeah.
Hey, Denise, I might come home with Kevin this afternoon. I hear you cooking some squash over there.
Yeah, squash, hamburger steak.
Oh.
Well, they had that's just the boat race thing, like from the city landing to the forks of the river, it's going to be like shut down, so you need to use another land if you're going fishing to mop us,
Yeah, we actually parked right across from city landing on the bank, and it was nice. They got it they got it buoyed off. It's pretty organized.
Yeah, that's right. And,
yeah,
they work with the barge traffic and all that right there. Yeah.
It's a big deal.
I've been years ago. I didn't been in a while.
It was fun. Like I said, it's been about 4 years ago.
Yeah.
I got a picture I can share. We caught some big fish that day. It's crazy.
They drew the alligator tags a day early, and it created all kind of stuff. I had over 11,000 people looking at it on my that post I put up yesterday, because they were supposed to draw them this morning, and they slipped up and sent the emails out yesterday evening, and everybody's accusing them. They already had the tag holders drawn, and they just released them early.
You can't make anybody happy. So
well, the conservation department does not make any effort to make anybody happy.
They don't have any communication now whatsoever.
No.
But anyway, if you're lucky enough to get an alligator tag, I am not going to be able to cover it like I have been for years. They're not releasing the information like they used to. So if you got a tag for the West Central Zone and want to get up with me to cover you and your gator, I'll be glad to do it. But that's the only way I'm going to be able to do it. I do want to remind everybody who did get an alligator tag that Lily Haygood taxidermist, I don't know if she's going to set up this year in the Southern Sportsman's Lodge, but she's up there in Lounsboro. And last year she took alligators all night long. And she does an awesome job of tanning the hides or the skull or whatever you want to do. I mean, she is awesome. And I'll find that video of her. It's a time-lapse video of her skinning out a big one last year. I put it up, but she sent me a note the other day and said that she's looking forward to gator season. And I don't get into it like I used to, Kevin and Shane. I used to think, I had to be down there every minute, every hour, but them days is over with.
That's a long late night there.
Yeah. Them days is over with.
I wonder how many people put in for tags.
I don't think you'll ever know. It's just, I don't know why they won't release that information. I think they're so scared of these
tree huggers,
animal group activists. Mm-hmm. They just don't want to put any information out. I can kind of understand that, but hell, people want to know. At least they need to let you know how many are killed in each zone. But I don't know if we're gonna get that this year.
Well, those PETA people people want to know those numbers. If their little chihuahuas get ate, they would like to know.
Yeah. There you go.
They'd like to know them, then they appreciate it.
Yeah, that's right.
That's like these people. If people didn't deer hunt and keep up with it, you couldn't afford your insurance because you'd be smashing deer everywhere.
And I've seen several posts up here lately of people, alligators coming out of the water and eating dogs on walking trails and stuff.
I seen that. That woman got attacked not too many months ago.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, you ain't gonna please everybody. And I understand some of the reasons that they don't want to put that information out there. But heck, with social media now,
you're doing the right thing, Big Daddy. If the state does not want you down there getting interviews and seeing them, but now they can't they can't police the people.
No,
If I go, I got a tag and I got me a 12-footer like that. No, I'm gonna call you to come down there. I want to save my picture on Facebook.
And I didn't say they didn't want me down there. What I said is they just not releasing that
Well,
information.
that's what I mean. That's what I mean. That's what I mean.
I can still go down there and stay all night long, get all the information myself.
Yeah.
But I ain't gonna do that. I ain't gonna do that. It was so easy to go down there, and those guys would let me look at the book and see who brought them in, how big they were, where they killed them.
Yeah.
But they're not releasing that anymore.
Last year, they just sent you the information. Didn't a big deal? You just posted it, right? Isn't that what you done last year?
No, I got it last year till the last night, and that's when. Well, I tell you what happened. We had an outdoor writer tried to get them from all the other zones, and it created a little controversy. And I mean, it's just a lack of communication is what it is. But anyway, we'll if it's a world record kill, I promise you, old Big Dad will cover it. I guarantee you. All right, let's go to the Town Country United Bank Hunting and Fishing Report, and it is a new website, y'all. And I got it in the comments. They upgraded the website for the generating schedules, and it is pretty cool. I hadn't really looked at it close, but it's a lot easier to navigate than that other one was. And I got it in the comments, and I have it on my Facebook page too. But I called them today and tomorrow, July the 13th, Millers Ferry will be running from midnight to 6 a.m. 3 units, and from 1 p.m. to midnight 3 units. And Jones Bluff, the same thing, from midnight to 6 a.m. 3 units, from 1 p.m. to midnight 3 units. So they running them midnight to 6, and then from 1 to midnight, so the water will be moving. Temperatures in the river, Mark Bolden gave them to me yesterday. In the river, they're from 82 to 86 degrees, and in the slough, from 84 to 90. So it's cooled off a little bit, 2 degrees from last weekend. So,
well, today, as much rain that fell today in the last hour, because I said I ain't never seen the 18-wheelers pulled over, but on 10 coming this way from the mill, they was lined up on both sides of the road where they just stopped. It was raining so hard.
Yeah, that's just little old clouds here and there, though, I guess.
It was a pop-up thunderstorm. It was, but now that you're gonna see Millers Ferry is gonna make a move this weekend. This week you're gonna see some color, and you're gonna see it rise
right here. Color in it last weekend.
Yeah. Mark said Mark Bowen told me it's color just like we like it. So that's good.
Yeah. Below the dam, it was like a red dirt road. I mean, you can make it.
The main river. When I came over the river in Tuscaloosa, the Warrior River, and it was a mud hole, son. It was unreal.
Yeah.
I guess we got a lot of rain up here somewhere. So.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to catfish. I'm gonna start off with this, y'all, because he deserves this. I don't know how long ago this was. You can tell by how slim he is. It was a pretty good while ago. But this is what started the long line jugging phenomenal on Lake Millers.
Whoa. He don't want to come up. Get a look at him.
Look how long them lines are.
Good.
That's
nice.
right there.
Fish. Look for the flathead.
Oh my God.
Look. Have you ever?
Get the dip net.
That is a fine one. Kate, I want to let him go back down. Get him over here.
We ate that sucker. That
Look at that.
God almighty.
him
Yeah.
Now, is that something?
That's a monster.
All right. Told you it was a big one.
Yeah,
What
it had to be 10 years ago. That boat was clean. He was skinny.
But it was that was a big old flat. I remember that.
A big old pretty fish.
That's when everybody started them long line jugs. So that video right there. I do want to remind everybody on the 22nd, on July the 22nd at 7 p.m. till July the 23rd, which will be Sunday morning, the Alabama Catfish Series has got their reeling rod tournament out of Roland Cooper State Park, and I'm hearing a lot of chatter about it. It's a lot of chatter. I believe they're gonna have a good crowd. Old Hound Dog was over there at Campbell's Landing, him and old Mike Walker, the other day, and caught some nice fish. And long lining and jugging is in play right now, Kevin.
Oh yeah, but you gonna see this high water and this current and muddy water that you gonna better get up in some shallow water and catch fish too. It's gonna be good.
That's Tim Maddox. Tim Maddox is on here right now. And Tim, you won the tickets last week. So type in your address where I can put your tickets in the mail, because that thing is next weekend. And I'll be able to mail them tonight, and then the ones I give away Friday. But the ones next Wednesday night, you might have to pick them up, because they won't get there before the show. But Tim Maddox, you did win the tickets, and on YouTube, if you type in your address, I'll send you the tickets. All right, catfishing this weekend. What about tight lining? I know Big Bama Bryant and all them getting ready for that tournament. They tight lining. I know that's the way Hound Dog was probably catching them other day, Kevin. So what's that high water? Of course, this weekend looks like it might be a little high and muddy, but next weekend it'll be a whole different ball game if we don't get no more rain.
Well, yeah, and then with the water, if you don't get it right, the temperature falling. I still think you can get on some flats on the lower end, or around where the islands are and stuff, where you got current ripping around like that. You're gonna still better do some either on the ledge or just off the ledge. Either jugging with some intermediate shorter jugs, 6-7 foot long jugs and stuff, and catch them. I caught them real good a couple summers ago, at the end of the summer, right there in where the water was 10-12 foot deep, but I was out of the river. But I think that we hadn't had a summer like this in a long time that I can remember. And but the last time we did, we caught fish, in 2 foot of water, bass fishing, and with the water like this. I mean, they was fish that was like dirt in the dirt. They really stayed shallow.
All right, Bud Williamson, what about my radio? Well, I don't do a radio show, Bud. It's just a live report every Monday and Friday mornings at 6:20 a.m. on Dixie Country, which is 100.1 or 98.5. And me and George Henry just kind of go over what's going on in the outdoors in the weekend tournaments and such as that, and any breaking news, anything. So that's on Mondays at 6:20 live, and Friday morning at 6:20 live, getting outdoors with BDL and the G-Man on Dixie Country, 100.1 and 98.5. Scott Dees is on here. Scott, I just told Kevin he's the first time he's been in the studio. I'm gonna give him a package.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Scott.
For the Coastal Alabama Community College, and I tell you, that marine industry technology class down at the Foley campus is something that every young person that's looking for a good career, that wants to be in the outdoor industry, Shane, I just wish they'd had something like that when I was young.
Right, that's opportunity. You got a kid that's mechanically inclined, already been working on lawnmowers with her daddy and all that stuff, and get into fishing. I mean, there's always going to be boats. There was boats during COVID.
Yeah,
there was boats. There was people buying more boats. There's probably more boats out there today than there ever has been. So that's a good.
In our area. In our area, you got Taylor's place over here, but we went 4 or 5 years where you had to go to Tuscaloosa, Meridian, or Mobile to get the boat worked on, and it's a big opportunity out there, and maybe Scott can give us some enrollment information, see how it's going.
Yeah.
Like I said, we use this huggers.
I'm gonna do a podcast with Scott and get all that information.
Okay, good.
All right, Tim, I got your address. I'll put those tickets in the mail for you tomorrow. All right, let's go to crappie fishing. Mark Bolden, he told a great story yesterday, Shane, of chasing that crappie down. I want to learn how to do that. I really do. Did you see it, Kevin?
No, I did not.
He got on it was about 1 3/4 crappie, and he chased that crappie down.
Mm-hmm.
And I've seen Shane. I've heard him talk about doing it.
I think he said he threw in there and his lure got below the crappie and his line hit the fish and it spooked. And what's crazy about those fish, guys, they flap, and glide, flap, and glide. So you can track them. And 99% of the time when they stop, if you don't spook them, you can put that jig in front of them, they'll eat it. I don't know what it is about it. But
You got to have your live scope dialed in.
oh yeah, it's especially. But I've heard of people like Hayden Jeffries stomp on the deck and spook them on purpose when they didn't bite and chase them down.
Oh, really?
I'm learning more every trip. Like we learned a ton this weekend. We're gonna talk about it on the show tomorrow night. But
we're gonna talk about that in a minute too. But I do want to tell everybody about Dippy Outdoors Delta Tournament Series he had last weekend. It was, where was it out of?
Man, I don't know that man.
Bates Lake. That's where it was. Bates Lake.
That's right.
And Travis Hudson won it. He had 7 fish. It weighed 10 pounds, I believe.
1104.
1104.
11
and
pounds and
Scott had a 221. And
That's
Shane always talking about them little fish down there, but hell, that was
Tensaw. I'm talking about them little fish at Tensaw look like that pin right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, they don't run back up to Alabama real where caught them.
What they caught those. Yeah, Scott, he told me a horror story too, Kevin. He had a 105 and he had a 145 or 150 to cull it out, and he's back there culling it and trying to undo the cull tag, and the 145 bounces and goes right in the water. That's what cost me. So I think it cost him the tournament. So
Joe Allen's tuned in.
What's up, Joe doing?
All right, Kenny Massengill and Charles Franklin had a good mess of fish.
Yeah, I saw that.
And Mike Letkins sent me 2 pictures. One wasn't in Millers Ferry, and one was, but both of them were good.
I seen where he'd been catching them.
Me and Joe Allen went Sunday morning. Me and Travis went Saturday morning.
That's
and
right.
ended up with 10 before 10 o'clock. We came out about 11 o'clock. And then me and Joe Allen went Saturday morning. But I got to give it to Joe Allen. We did a lot of searching, and he showed me a lot of stuff out there. He was feeling kind of sentimental. He was kind of wanting. He was kind of thinking he wasn't going to get out there much no more. So he wanted to show me some of the spots you and him put out there years ago, Kevin. So me and Travis gonna sweeten them up, but we ended up with 5 fish. Had one at 1.80 was a good fish, now tell us about your Mississippi trip, Shane. That's what I want to hear about.
Yeah, me and some Shane Welch and Jake Brown and Wheeler Sewell and John Farmer met us over there. Me and John went over there Thursday evening, and we got out there.
Y'all go to Grenada? Was it Grenada's where y'all went?
We went to Grenada and stayed there at the Slabbing Cabin. But let me tell y'all, Grenada, I learned a whole bunch. They were trying to tell me why Grenada's so slow right now, and Grenada's a fairly shallow lake. And what happened is when that thing gets hot, that thermocline comes up, 3 or 4 feet off the bottom and pushes all those whitefish up in the water column where you can catch them. Mm-hmm. And when we got down there, they had opened the spillway up. The spillway had been open for 3 days. So it takes all that thermocline's decaying matter, and it sucked all that thermocline out. So those whitefish went straight to the bottom and they will not come up. It's a ghost town. So it was crazy. You go out there and all those fish are there and there's none up in the water column. It's crazy. So we ended up having to go to Enid and chase fish in some deeper water. We finally got a pattern and caught plenty of fish, but I got an education this weekend hanging out with Eric and John, and Patrick Stone was over there guiding, and then they'll you don't have to do nothing but just listen around them guys, and they'll teach you something.
Yeah. Well, now I want to hear about that Lake X that y'all come back through. That lake.
That lake is Lake Okeechobee is what it's called. It's 3,800 acres in Meridian, Mississippi. It ain't far from y'all.
I ain't never heard of it. You can?
I bass fishing it.
Have you?
It's a beautiful lake, and let me tell y'all something. It is full of crappie from one end to the other. I mean, I ain't kidding y'all. John got on. I didn't have any smaller 1/8-ounce jigs, and John put 13 in the boat before I could even get over there. There's no size limit, and you get to keep 30 fish. And I went. I think we gave away 47. I think we went out there but 2.5 hours. So. It's a fun lake. You ever get a chance to go over there?
How did you find them? You say they were just everywhere.
Oh, they're everywhere. They're in the river channel. There's a bunch of black crappie on some brush piles. They were anywhere from, their thermocline was actually 16 foot of water. So anything above that, you could catch fish. They were just everywhere, especially if you got live scope. You can go out there trolling and catch them. I found some bigger fish in a cove, and there was 20. I caught one 13 inches, almost 14, and there was 30 of them in one scoop.
Mm-hmm. Dang.
So it was crazy, but hey, it was fun.
All right. Well, you talking about you keeping up with Millers Ferry pretty good, and Demopolis. If they going fishing on Demopolis or Millers Ferry this weekend, what do you suggest they do, Shane?
Well, the river's probably going to be out of play because the river's up and muddy. And like Kevin was saying, I would get in those creeks, and hey, I'd study the stumps on the creek channels and brush piles. Like Kevin said, them fish liable to be shallow. Don't ever rule that out because they could be in 4, 5, 6 foot of water. Last year I found them. I caught 13 off one stump that was in 7 foot of water about this time. So don't rule it out. But hey, everybody assumes that springtime's the only time those fish go shallow, and that's not true. They go where they want to go. So
seems like too sometimes that those boat docks where there's some current, like real blood boat docks, like that it's so close to that adjacent deeper water is moving too fast, they'll pull right up there and get on them docks too.
Well, Eric made a comment this weekend, guys. He's like, a crappie's just like a minnow. They're always trying to die. So they're going to the most oxygen there is because, crappie are real sensitive. So they're going to the best water conditions they can find, whether it be shallow, whether it be deep, if they can get. A lot of times people look for bait this time of year, and those crappies sometimes ain't around a bunch of bait, just a little bit of bait. So, don't go looking for big old schools of shad. Just go looking for the fish.
Well, I tell you what, it was several places that me and Travis went Sunday. And when you throw your jig in there and it hit the water, those little old bitty minnows.
The fry, busting everywhere.
Oh, yeah. Like I said, it's.
And mayflies, plenty of mayflies.
Don't be scared to go where you catch them in the springtime because, I'm telling you, with that water cooling off and the rainwater and getting color, hopefully the sun stays out and makes them fish. I'm learning the sun affects those fish a ton. Especially the last few trips to Mississippi because those fish will be out in the water calling 10 foot deep, and when the clouds come in, straight to the bottom. And they hung on the bottom for an hour, and then when the sun come out, straight up they come. It was crazy watching them do that. And you wouldn't have good to see that if you didn't have a live scope.
And you can catch those fish on that bottom, and they'll literally have mud on the belly.
Especially white crappie. I never knew they hung in the mud. But that explains, Big Daddy, when I used to go through that timber, and I'd tell you, and I'd be on the phone with you, and I'd turn around and go right back through there and then catch 30 fish. You're like, where in the world they come off the bottom?
Yeah.
So.
All right, that's crappie fishing. Let's go to bass fishing. Jeremy brought his Pride of the South Elite Series to Bridgeport City Landing. Jeffrey and Dawson Reeves won it. Father and son team, 16.05 and a 5.21 big fish. Kevin and Jamie went below the dam. Now that's what I want to hear about that fishing trip. You sent me some pictures, Kevin. Y'all caught some big old bass down there.
We was kind of like we wanted to go on a dark night. Jamie bought some new lights, and it's got one switch, and it's a blue light, but it's an ultraviolet. You can't even see it. Like you put your hand in front of it, and it won't even make a mark on your hand. But the baits that we're using got ultraviolet paint on them. And you can drop it in the water, and you can see it for about 2 foot.
That bait you're using, diamond bait.
Diamond bait, spinner baits, yeah. And it's a night bait and the ultraviolet coating on the blades, on the blade, a single blade spinner bait. But anyway, we got out there and we started fishing in a willow fly hatch, and it was it's been a long time since I've actually watched them come from the bottom to the top of the water because we had the green light on too. And it don't attract bugs, but so you can see the bank, and it's so dark, that night and cloudy. But you can actually see the willow flies coming from the bottom and coming and releasing into the air when they hit the surface.
Wow. And
it was so many of them that I'd get to the point where I couldn't see Jamie in the front of the boat. And they was like covered us up, and poor Jamie's boat. It was a nasty mess. I'm talking about it. We couldn't help it. There was 2 inches deep laying on the boat. We walking on them, just grinding them in the carpet. It was terrible, but. We caught 8 nice spots. 7 of them were monsters, and we had best 5 probably weighed 18 to 19 pounds, And but now when the willow flies quit, the fishing really slowed down. It was we caught one more fish between 10:40 and 11:30 when we left, and it was the smallest one we had. It probably 2.5 pounds, but the ones we caught, their bellies were just so blowed up. and there was willow flies in their gills. There's willow flies in their mouth. You know, I mean, I'm sure they were feeding on what was feeding on the willow flies, but they were eating willow flies. I mean, no doubt. But when you looked in their mouth and all that, I mean, it was a pretty fast and furious. We didn't get there probably 8:30 or 9, and we caught all them big fish real quick and probably. I don't know. They went up 200 yards Saturday night. Yeah.
They weighed in 5, weighed 20 pounds up here Saturday night.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Well,
up there at Boy River.
Travis was on the river. He was jugging. He said he didn't come off the river till dark. He didn't see y'all, so y'all must have got there.
Yeah, it's probably 8:30, you know, before we got in the water. And there was another boat came down there, and I'm not sure what they was doing. They were using poles, and they were up and down vertical fishing, and they was getting next to the concrete at the powerhouse, next to the dam and stuff like that. I don't know if they was trying to catch a snag, or if I think they might have had some big live brim or something trying to catch yellowcat, you know, but we didn't get real close to them, but they were moving around a lot, you know.
All right, let's talk about Maddie's bringing her Bridgeport summer team trail to Bridgeport City Landing this weekend, Kevin. It's always 40, 50, it's been 60 boats. Water conditions are not going to be optimum. What would you do? Are you going to fish it?
I don't know. I'm not sure. If I go fishing tomorrow, that'll dictate whether I'm gonna be there Saturday. You know?
I think they'll weigh in some fish. I'm with Kevin. There'll be some fish weighed in. That water stays up.
I think it. You know, it's gonna be a grass deal. The cuts were really hot last week, and I talked to 2 or 3 guys that really caught. One guy caught 60-something fish one afternoon in 3 hours, and he had a really good day and said he found a couple of cuts had bigger fish in it, but he caught a lot of fish. But he said a thunderstorm popped up, and you know, overcast. You thinking pressure dropping, all that, you know, getting better, but that lightning went to popping.
They don't like that.
It shut off. He said the shad. He was big balls of shad in every cut. He said the shad just dispersed. And he said they did not like that lightning. And he said that it really shut down the fishing.
Yeah, I've been on the crappie water before, and one go by in the thunder and all that stuff, and you think, man, they're gonna bite. Nope.
And I've had good days, you know, with a front coming in like that, but that he said that the guy told me that's the first we've ever seen him just shut down that hard, because he said he stayed 4 hours and didn't catch another fish.
I think the thunderstorm does it, but the steady drizzle, hey, it's on. You know, it's But I think you're right. You don't realize the sunlight and pressure has a ton to do with fish. You know, acting, and that live scope is showing it to you live. I mean, it is showing it to you. You know, right. The lack of fish is telling you they're doing something. You know, and you know they're there.
Yeah. Well, if you're, you know, especially you was catching them and then they stop, you know what I mean? You know, and you looking at your live scope, or, you know, even your depth finder, or just lack of bites.
Yeah, exactly. You know, if you're catching them on frog, you're catching them on frog and grass, you know, you caught 60 fish, you know something's going on, and then all of a sudden it just blanks on you. So
yeah.
And you see what Johnny Mack said, they spraying in grass up in the last 2 days in Foster Creek. Wonder why they do that. It ain't no navigating going on in Foster Creek.
They get paid. Them contractors get paid for what they put out. That's what it is.
Well, I hate to see that.
Me too.
But anyway. All right, so bass fishing this weekend, grass. That's what you say.
I think it's going to be some grass. I think there's going to be some riverbanks where you're going to be able to get in the grass, and probably, you know, maybe some sawgrass or some patches of hyacinth that you'll be able to catch a few fish on inside of curves, or a treetop that's not in, you know, where there's some protection right there. Some of the fish will still be there. But now I wouldn't be scared to get on one of these flats, or get behind an island, or get, you know, even in the mouth, you know, 100 yards either way inside of some of these sloughs. I would not be scared of that, because that high water, the backing up water is going to make the fish back up, you know.
All right, pond fishing. I'm hearing some great reports from Dallas County Lake. They sold out of worms and crickets at Lofton's Bait Shop the other day, because I think those guys now, and Todd Prater put a video up, and I put it on my Facebook page. Those bank fishermen are done like Shane Jones. They done figured out how they can put them umbrellas up on that pond bank, and they sitting there nailing them fish.
Yeah, hey, good for them, man. I like to see people catch fish. You know, you was talking about that lake, John and I. There was a guy fishing at the dock. When we come in, I said, "Hey, man, you got a cooler?" He goes, "Yeah." And he brought this little bitty lunch crew. I said, no, brother. He goes, what do you mean? I said, there's 47 fish. And he goes, huh? I said, I got a construction bag. He said, I'll take it. And we filled him up. And man, he was excited. He went up the bank. It was awesome.
Well, that's Todd. He's talking about the Dallas County Lake, but he did that video, Todd. And I tell you, those umbrellas, that changes the game.
Exactly. He keeps you out there longer.
And those elderly people that go out there and fish on that bank, they got that umbrella, and heck, they stay there. You
done broke your fan out yet this year, Shane?
I got it in the truck. I haven't broke it out because it was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But I've got it in there. I've got the big battery charge. So
I saw one on there. I saw one on Amazon today that had a water reservoir to go on top of it. Like that. And it kind of blows up.
The good thing about it hadn't been that hot yet. I got a trip down there with y'all this weekend, and with old Melvin Sasser, and then we might break it out, but I don't think it's supposed to be but 92. So
it ain't been that hot.
And it's been windy, a little breeze blowing. Today it worked. It was nice. And yesterday I worked at 8:30, and it was a good breeze all day.
Oh yeah.
Bibb County Lake sold out of sold out of crickets and worms the other day too. So they must be catching them bluegill and brim there at Bibb County Lake too. Now,
shell cracker used to be like awesome in both the Dallas County Lake and Bibb County. You can catch some big old shell cracker.
All right, I do want to mention this because Gage King sent me some pictures. He's a bass, but him and Gerald Harris, Caleb Harris, they went bow fishing the other night and wiped out some gar. I hope y'all kill everyone.
Man, I wish they'd pay bounty on them things.
I do too. and then Rex Jones sent me a text today, and he's coming up here with his big bow fishing boat. He wanted to know where to go. I said, anywhere you go is good, but I would start out at the gold mine, get all them guards out of that gold mine over there.
They like that slough.
That Marina slough, man, it'd be the big carp up in the back of there. Woo.
All right, Kevin. Rusty's about to worry us to death about the rodeo in Butler. He wants to know when it is.
I don't know what night he'll ride because they don't call in until Tuesday before the rodeo. So when I find out the Wednesday before the rodeo, I'll know what day he's going to ride.
When is the rodeo?
I think it's the 26th or either 25th. I can't remember.
The last weekend of July?
Yes, it's last weekend of July.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
that'd be the 28th, 29th.
Boots for Glory. That's the name of it.
I don't know. I ain't got any. Send me some information on it.
I will.
Rusty.
I think it's Boots for Glory. It's right there before you get into.
But then you say he's going. Where is he going this week?
He's going to Tampa, Florida. They gonna ride. He gonna ride Saturday night in Tampa. It's a PCA pro rodeo, and him and his traveling buddy. They're gonna leave Saturday morning and go rodeo and turn around and drive home, I guess.
Well, I mean, he's young and he is.
He's healthy again. He's got over his injuries. He was a little bit sore. He got on the machine Monday night and sent me a video. And I asked him how it felt, and he said it was a little bit sore, but he said it felt good. So he's hoping to go down there. There's something big going on close by because there's not very many riders signed up, and it's $1,000 extra added. So him and Gavin going down there and try to get him a check.
Tell him to mark that horse. Tell him Big Daddy said mark that horse.
He worried about his. He got a couple sponsors this past week, and he sent his vest and it off to have some embroidery done on his vest, and he got some shirts and stuff. It's gonna have all his sponsors on there and all. He worried about. They saying it's gonna be back Thursday night or Friday morning. He got to leave Saturday morning, so he's a little worried about getting that.
Look at that shirt. Look at that shirt. Look at that shirt.
You have one of them, Big Daddy.
No T-shirt. That's one of them.
Oh, that's one of them hoodies.
Oh yeah. Y'all didn't know, did you?
Shirt.
Yeah.
Right there,
we got to have one of them.
What about?
I didn't know they run a little tight, so I got one for you, Kevin. I got extra large. It probably fits you great because these things run a little snug.
Yeah.
These are nice. These are sun shirts. Look.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw Corey Smith out there. He was on the river Saturday morning. I couldn't tell from far, but he had that white hoodie on, keeping that sun off.
That's what these are. These are SPF 50 sun shirts. Got the Crappie Cast logo on them right there. I just picked them up about an hour ago.
Have you got them for sale?
I mean, these things are expensive, so I don't know, buddy. These things are not cheap, buddy.
Yeah, well,
I don't know how much I just sell them for. They are expensive, but I may try to find a deal on the shirts and then get them to print them for me. So I'll let everybody know.
What about tomorrow night, Thursday night, Crappie Cast on Shane Jones Fishing Facebook and YouTube channel?
Yeah, we're gonna keep our discussion going.
Followers, and you giving away a fishing trip tomorrow.
Yeah, John wrote down the names. Him and Jessica. I think John wrote them down yesterday. There's 226 people, I think, that's in the drawing, and they got their names in a hat. They're gonna draw the winners, and like I said, one guy's gonna go with me, and whoever wins it, one person's gonna go with me, one person's gonna go with John, and we're gonna try to go down there in September down there at Millers Ferry. So.
Oh yeah, be a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it'll be about time dove season opens. That's my favorite time. So.
Yeah.
Clear the river up a little bit.
Yeah, that's right.
All right. Well, you coming here this weekend, Shane?
Yes, sir. I'm hoping the good Lord willing, I'll be down there Friday evening and go hunt some fish, and we'll go eat or whatever. And I got Melvin and another Richard. We're gonna go out there and try to catch some of them big whitefish.
Kevin, Jamie went to ICAST. Lars at ICAST.
I seen them all down there.
At ICAST, that's a big deal down
You
there.
seen that new bubbler they're coming out with? That new bubbler for
Yeah. I did see that.
Yeah.
I did see that.
That's gonna be nice right there.
Except I don't use no minnows no more.
This is for your live well.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Well,
Jamie, we put one in Jamie's boat when we was going to Florida to keep our shiners alive better, especially if we had some left because they're so expensive. And we put an inverter in there and put a 110 aerator in there, and then bought one of them 12-inch stones to put on it. And shoot, we buy shiners, and I don't know, when we leave, we throw some away. I read it might have been some from the first day.
Yeah.
Stay down there.
They've got it looks like a block that goes in the bottom. Then they got a long stone. It look like, I don't know the details, but it's supposed to be bad. So
yeah,
they
that
say the micro bubbles don't burst or bust as fast when they rise slower. So
you say what Joe Allen says, Shane?
Yeah.
Y'all got to put out.
Well,
we can't tie it up for Joe Allen. So
that ICAST is the biggest outdoor industry fishing show in the world. They showcase the newest things, and it will be one item picked out as the ICAST item of the show, and it's a 3-day show. It ain't no consumer show. You gotta be connected up in the in the fishing industry to get in that place.
Yeah, the guy that Jamie buys the wire from called him and invited him to be his guest and sent him the passes and everything to go.
Yeah, you got to have credentials,
Yeah.
and
he said they have these schools going on, and that's what he went down there for, because he got to work tomorrow. So he was gonna make it a quick trip for him, but he went to they had a 4-hour class on how to pay your excise tax and how all the new laws change, and he went down there for that. But he said they had classes on how to merchandise your company on the internet, how to merchandise on Facebook. It had all kinds of stuff and how to set your accounts up, but he was not able to do that, but he said he was planning on next year going down for 3 days.
Me and Shane can teach him that.
Yeah.
Yeah, we play with that. We play with it all the time.
5,000 followers on
Yeah, man, I appreciate it. There's a bunch of people watch this show. I got 5,050 right now, and hey, that's great for me, buddy. And Crappie Cast is growing. We're gonna go into some thermocline discussion, some side image discussion, a bunch of stuff tomorrow. We're gonna try to go a little deeper in the discussion with it. So.
Look at Bud. He's taking up for his boy. Y'all giving Joe Allen heck, and he's not even there.
Well, Joel's he got a trailer. I saw it. He got a trailer full of stacking sticks.
Yeah.
He does. He got us some good steaks. So we're gonna ease them things out in the water.
And I got some porcupines made. We gonna get it done. All right, tomorrow night, 7 o'clock, Crappie Cast, Shane Jones Fishing, Facebook and YouTube. Y'all tune in.
Yes, sir. Y'all please get on there and bring you some questions. And we're going to be giving a bunch of information out again tomorrow night. So.
Yeah, I guarantee you. Kevin, you going to fish this weekend or you don't know yet?
Yes, I'm at some point I am on fishing, though, for sure. I don't know if I'm going to fish the tournament or not. Me and Don was talking about going tomorrow evening.
I saw Don out there Sunday.
Yeah,
Saturday,
before the rain, I don't know. We may put it off to Friday afternoon now and give them a day rest after this showing a thunderstorm we hit. But if we catch some fish, we may fish Maddie Saturday. That hadn't been on no big. And we caught some fish. Me and Don last time we fished, we caught 11 in the river and but they wasn't no water moving. It was like a pond, and we fished till 11 o'clock like that, and they were small, but that it was that pattern that we were on. I think that pattern will work better this weekend with the water doing like it's doing. Yeah.
Well, it's going to be interesting to see. And I don't even know why she calls it the Bridgeport Summer Team Trail, because everybody calls it Maddie's Tournament. She might as well change it to Maddie's Tournament.
Yeah,
because that's what everybody calls it. But that'll be this weekend, y'all. And Shane, I'll see you this weekend. Thanks.
Yeah,
everybody.
yeah. Like I said, if y'all see me on the water, holler at me, guys. I'll be down there. Like I said,
Joe Allen will be back next weekend, and maybe he'll have a fish story to tell.
that's right.
Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll see you next week, same time, same channel. Remember, WDE40 in the comments for a chance to win a pair of tickets to the World Deer Expo coming up, not this weekend, but next weekend. See y'all next week.
Pap taught me every critter's track and how to set a hair trigger on a trap. He taught me to shoot, scale, and skin and make a snare with a leather strap. He taught me to be a part of the woods and all his woodsy tricks. Said you gotta walk soft on 2 light feet and try not to break no stick. I thank Daddy for my savvy, how to hunt and how to carry anything that I might need to get a piece of skillet meat. How to walk and how to hide, how to crawl and how to slide, how to sneak, stalk, and climb and do it all on 2 light feet.